The holding cell stank of ammonia and something else. Something that reminded Ryland of burnt electronics. He sat on the cold metal floor, back against the wall, watching 3 guard patrol outside the energy barrier. Each one was a different species. The tall one with 4 arms and crystalline skin. The squat one that looked like a walking mushroom with too many eyes. The third one, all spikes and attitude, with scales that shimmered purple under the harsh lights. They thought he was beaten. They had no idea what beaten actually meant. Human! The crystalline guard's voice crackled through the translator embedded in the ceiling. You will be executed at dawn. The Overlord Vex has ordered your termination for the murder of his son. Ryland didn't move. He just stared at them with those dead, cold eyes that made the mushroom guard step back. Murder? His voice was quiet. Calm. Too calm. That's a funny word coming from the species that glassed my entire colony. 300,000 people. Gone. Because your spoiled prince wanted our lithium deposits. The spiky one hissed. Watch your tongue, Deathworlder. You are already condemned. Deathworlder. Ryland smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. You know what's funny about that word? You people use it like an insult. Like it means we're stupid. Primitive. But you know what it really means. None of them answered. It means we come from a planet that's been trying to kill us since before we could walk upright. It means pain is just another Tuesday for us. It means when you cut us, we don't just bleed. We get angry. He stood up slowly, his muscles screaming in protest. They'd worked him over pretty good. Broken ribs. Definitely a fractured wrist. His left eye was swollen shut. But he was standing. The guards exchanged glances. Uncertain. Nervous. Sit down, human. The crystalline one ordered. You are injured. Broken. Broken? Ryland laughed. It hurt. Everything hurt. But pain was an old friend. I've had worse from falling down drunk outside a bar. You want to know what really breaks a human? He walked toward the energy barrier. Each step was agony. Each step was also a promise. Taking everything they love, everyone they care about, and then making the mistake of leaving them alive. The mushroom guard's eyes widened. All 17 of them. He should not be moving. The medical scan showed severe internal damage. Multiple fractures. He should be unconscious from the pain. Ryland pressed his hand against the barrier. It burned. He didn't flinch. That's another funny word you people love. We should be dead. We should give up. We should know our place in the galaxy. He leaned closer, his face inches from the crackling energy. Let me tell you what humans should do. We should survive. And after that, we should make sure the ones who hurt us regret every single decision that led them to us. The spiky guard raised his weapon. Enough of this. I will stun him. Wait. The crystalline guard held up one of his 4 hands. The Overlord wanted him conscious for the execution. He wants a human to see the firing squad. To beg. Ryland's smile got wider. Beg? Oh, that's precious. That's genuinely adorable. Tell me something. When your people feel pain, real pain, what happens? What does your body do? The guards looked at each other again. The crystalline one spoke carefully. We enter defensive shutdown. The nervous system protects vital organs by reducing consciousness. It is efficient, logical. Why prolong suffering? Because suffering isn't something to avoid. It's something to weaponize. Ryland turned away from them, walking back to his corner. His legs were shaking. His vision was starting to blur, but he'd made his point. You people have no idea what's coming. None. The guards watched him sit down, watched him close his one good eye. They thought he was giving up and finally accepting his fate. They were idiots. Ryland's mind was racing through the facility's layout. He'd memorized every corridor on the way in, every guard post, every weak point. The mushroom guard had a neural cluster at the base of his stalk. The crystalline one's joints were vulnerable. The spiky one was overconfident, kept his weapon too loose. 3 guards, 1 human. Bad odds, but Ryland had survived worse. Hours crawled by. The lights dimmed for sleep cycle. The guards changed shifts. New faces, same species. a floating jellyfish thing that pulsed with bioluminescence, a mechanical construct that clicked and whirred, and another human that stopped Ryland cold. The human guard was tall, built, military bearing. He stood at attention while the jellyfish gave instructions in a language that sounded like wind chimes having a seizure. When they finished, the human turned to look at the cell. Their eyes met. The human guard's expression didn't change, but something flickered there. Recognition, maybe even respect. "Traitor," Ryland said quietly. "That's what you are. That's what you'll always be." The human guard's jaw tightened. "You don't know anything about me. I know you're wearing their uniform. I know you're guarding their prisoner. I know when they destroyed my home, humans like you probably helped them do it. Is that what you think?" The guard's voice was tight, controlled. "You think I want to be here? You think I have a choice? Everyone has a choice. Not when they have your family. Not when they have leverage." The guard stepped closer to the barrier. His name tag read Chen. "You killed the Overlord's son. That took guts. That took planning. But it also made you the most wanted human in 14 sectors." Ryland shrugged, winced at the pain. "Worth it. That little monster deserved worse than what I gave him. Much worse." "Maybe." Chen glanced at the other guards. They weren't paying attention. The jellyfish was pulsing in sleep mode. The mechanical one was running diagnostics. "But now you're here, scheduled for execution. And after you're gone, they'll probably use you as an example. Show the other Deathworlders what happens when you resist. Then I better not die." Chen almost laughed. "You're serious. You're actually serious. Look at you. You can barely stand. You're locked in an energy cell in the middle of a fortress. There are 2,000 guards between you and freedom. And you think you're getting out?" "I don't think. I know." Ryland stood up again. Slower this time. Everything hurt more now. The adrenaline was wearing off. Because pain is temporary. Revenge is forever. And I made a promise to 300,000 ghosts that I would make the people responsible pay. The Overlord will never face justice. He's too powerful. Too protected. I don't want justice. Justice is what weak people call revenge when they're too scared to get their hands dirty. I want him to hurt. I want him to lose everything. Just like I did. Just like everyone on Colony 7 did. Chen studied him for a long moment. Then he did something unexpected. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small metallic cylinder. He tossed it through the barrier. It clattered at Ryland's feet. "What's this?" "Insurance. In case you're not completely insane and you actually have a plan." Chen turned away. "Medical override key. Works on the barrier controls. Also opens doors. But only for 90 seconds before the security system catches it. After that, every alarm in this place screams." Ryland picked up the cylinder. It was warm. "Why?" "Because they have my daughter. And if you somehow, impossibly, make it to the Overlord, if you somehow do what everyone says is impossible," Chen's voice dropped to a whisper, "tell him that Chen sends his regards. And that I want my little girl back." The mechanical guard whirred to life. Chen walked away quickly, taking his position at the far end of the corridor. Ryland looked at the cylinder in his hand, then at the guards, then at the barrier. 90 seconds. He'd need to make them count. The hours until dawn's cycle felt like years. Ryland used the time well, stretching, testing his body's limits. Everything screamed at him to stop. Every nerve was on fire. His broken ribs ground together with each breath. But pain was just information, just his body telling him what was damaged. It didn't mean he had to listen. Humans were good at ignoring what their bodies told them. It's how they climbed mountains that killed them. How they ran marathons until their hearts nearly stopped. How they fought wars against impossible odds and somehow, sometimes won. Deathworlders. The name fit. When the lights brightened for dawn cycle, the guards changed again. Back to the original 3. Crystalline, mushroom, spiky. They looked tired. Good. Tired meant slow. Slow meant mistakes. Time to die human. The crystalline guard keyed the barrier controls. Walk forward slowly. Keep your hands visible. Ryland stood, palmed the cylinder Chen had given him. Question first. You have no rights to questions. Humor me. I'm about to be dead anyway. Ryland smiled his terrible smile. When your prince was dying, when I had my hand around his throat, do you know what he did? He cried. He begged. He promised me anything if I'd just let him go. The spiky guard scales rattled with rage. Lies! The prince was brave, honorable. The prince was a coward, just like his father, just like everyone who hide behind guards and weapons instead of facing the consequences of their actions. Enough! The crystalline guard's hand went to his weapon. You will walk. Now. Sure. Absolutely. Just one more thing. Ryland pressed the cylinder. Clicked it twice. Fast. The barrier flickered. Died. The override worked. 90 seconds started now. Ryland moved. 3 guards. 90 seconds. 1 very angry human. The crystalline guard was fast. His hand cleared the holster before Ryland took his second step. But speed meant nothing if you telegraph your moves. Ryland saw the shoulder dip, saw the weight shift. He dropped low, swept the guard's legs. 4 legs, all crystalline, all suddenly horizontal. The guard hit the ground hard. Crystal cracked, splintered. The sound was beautiful. Ryland didn't stop. The mushroom guard was raising an alarm pendant. Ryland's broken wrist screamed as he grabbed it, twisted. The pendant shattered. So did several of the guard's eye stalks. The creature made a sound like air escaping from a balloon. High-pitched. Terrified. That's what 300,000 people sounded like. Ryland whispered into what passed for the guard's ear. When your ships open fire, remember that. The spiky one was smarter. Backed up. Weapon raised. Aimed center mass. Stop, or I fire. Ryland looked at him. Really looked at him. You're going to fire anyway. So what exactly am I stopping for? The guard scales flickered. Uncertainty. You cannot possibly survive this. Even if you kill us. Even if you escape this level. The fortress has thousands of soldiers. Yep, terrible odds. Almost makes me feel bad for them. Ryland started walking forward. Slow. Each step deliberate. See, here's what you people never understood about humans. About Deathworlders. We're not special because we're strong. We're special because we're stubborn. Stupid stubborn. The kind of stubborn that makes us keep going when every logical cell in our brain is screaming at us to quit. The guard fired. Ryland dove left. The energy bolt missed. Barely. He felt the heat singe his hair. Felt the concussive force slam into the wall behind him. But he was moving. Rolling. His ribs were grinding. His vision was white with pain. But he was moving. The guard tried to adjust his aim. Too slow. Ryland came up inside his reach. Grabbed the weapon. Head butted him. The spiky guard scales weren't as sharp as they looked up close. Or maybe Ryland's skull was just harder than expected. Either way, the guard went down. 60 seconds left. Ryland grabbed the guard's weapon. Checked the charge. Half full. Good enough. He glanced at the 3 guards. All down. All breathing. He wasn't a monster. He just needed them out of the way. The corridor stretched ahead. Empty. For now. Ryland ran. Every step was agony. Every breath was broken glass in his lungs. But he ran. Alarms started wailing at the 87-second mark. 3 seconds early. Figures. Alien technology was never as reliable as advertised. Red light strobed. Doors started sealing. Ryland slid under one just as it slammed shut. Felt it catch his boot. The leather tore. The door didn't stop. He pulled his foot free. Kept moving. Voices behind him. Lots of voices. Running footsteps. Not human running. Different patterns. Different rhythms. The whole fortress was waking up. Coming for him. Perfect. Ryland hit the main corridor. 10 guards ahead. Mixed species. They saw him. Weapons raised. He didn't slow down. Didn't even think about slowing down. He fired. The stolen weapon kicked in his hands. Energy bolts scattered. Most missed. 2 connected. Guards went down. The others opened fire. Ryland threw himself behind a support column. Bolts superheated the metal around him. The air smelled like ozone and burning. His heart was hammering. This was it. This was the moment. Either he made it through this, or he didn't. Either way, he was going to make them remember him. He leaned out, fired 3 quick shots, pulled back, counted to 2, leaned out the other side, fired again. 1 guard dropped. Then another. The rest scattered, taking cover. Good. That slowed them down. Ryland checked his weapon. Charge at 20%. Not good. Not good at all. A door opened behind him. He spun. Weapon up. Chen stepped through. Alone. Holding 2 more weapons. You absolute maniac. You actually did it. You actually got out of the cell. Told you I would. Ryland grabbed one of the weapons. Your daughter. Where is she? Detention level. Sub 3. But that's locked down tighter than anywhere else in this place. You'll never make it. Watch me. No. Chen's face was hard. You go for the Overlord. You do what you came here to do. I'll get my daughter. You sure? I've been planning this for 2 years. Ever since they took her. You think I gave you that override on a whim? I've been waiting for someone crazy enough to cause a distraction. Someone who doesn't care about surviving. Someone who just wants to burn everything down. Chen checked his weapon. That's you. So go. The Overlord's chambers are straight ahead. Up 3 levels. Through the administrative wing. Past his personal guard. Who are, by the way, the best fighters in 14 sectors. Then they're about to have a very bad day. Ryland started moving. Stopped. Look back. Chen, get your daughter. Get off the station. And live. That's an order. You're not my commanding officer. No, but I'm the guy who's about to kill a galactic crime lord. So humor me. Chen almost smiled. Good luck, Ryland. Give them hell. Hell's too good for them. I'm giving them something worse. Me. The administrative wing was chaos. Guards running everywhere. Civilians screaming. Alarms screaming louder. Ryland moved through it like a shark through bloody water. Fast. Focused. Deadly. He didn't shoot everyone. Didn't have the charge for that. Just the ones who got in his way. Just the ones who were stupid enough to try stopping him. A security door blocked his path. Reinforced. Heavy. The kind that could survive orbital bombardment. Ryland pulled the override cylinder. Pressed it against the lock. Nothing happened. Right. 90 seconds. That had expired about 5 minutes ago. He stepped back. Studied the door. Then he studied the walls around it. Station construction. Modular. Which meant the walls were weaker than the doors. Always were. It was basic engineering. Make the obvious entrance strong. Assume nobody would be crazy enough to blast through solid walls. Ryland fired at the wall. Once. Twice. 3 times. The metal glowed. Melted. On the 4th shot, it gave way. He kicked it. Once. Twice. The hole widened. He squeezed through. The jagged edges tore his clothes. Tore his skin. He didn't care. The Overlord's chambers were exactly what he expected. Opulent. Disgusting. Gold everywhere. Precious stones. Art stolen from a dozen worlds. Including Earth. He saw a painting he recognized. The Mona Lisa. Or a copy. Hanging on a wall like a trophy. His rage went cold. The hot anger that had carried him this far crystallized into something harder. Something unbreakable. Human. The voice came from above. Ryland looked up. The Overlord sat on a floating throne. Vex. 6 arms. Serpentine body. Face like a nightmare someone had half-finished sculpting. You have caused considerable damage to my property. Killed my guards. Terrified my guests. All for what? Revenge. Revenge is just justice with better marketing. Ryland raised his weapon. Aimed at the Overlord center mass. You killed 300,000 people. Men. Women. Children. Pets. Every living thing on Colony 7. Because you wanted lithium. Because your spoiled son wanted a new toy. Business. Vex's voice was bored. Nothing personal. Your people were squatting on valuable resources. Resources I own by right of superior force. Your colony should have moved, should have negotiated, should have accepted reality. My wife was on that colony. How unfortunate for you. My daughter was on that colony. She was 7 years old. Her name was Maya. She liked drawing pictures of butterflies. She wanted to be a veterinarian when she grew up. She had her whole life ahead of her. And yet here you are, alive, while she is dust. Vex leaned forward. Tell me, human, does that not seem unfair? Should you not have died with them? What gives you the right to survive when they did not? Ryland's finger tightened on the trigger. Survivor's guilt. That's what the counselor called it. Before your people glassed the medical station, where she worked too, she said I needed to process my feelings, work through my trauma, find peace. Wise advice. I told her to go to hell. Peace is for people who have something to lose. I lost everything. So now, he fired. The bolt caught Vex in the shoulder. 1 of 6. The Overlord screamed. Now I'm going to take everything from you. Guards poured into the chamber. Dozens of them. The elite ones Chen had mentioned. They moved like water, like shadows. They were good, really good. Ryland was better. Not because he was faster. Not because he was stronger. But because he didn't care about surviving. Every guard had something to lose. Family, career, life. Ryland had nothing, which made him the most dangerous thing in the room. He moved through them like death itself. Firing, dodging, taking hits, giving worse than he got. His weapon ran dry. He grabbed another from a fallen guard. Kept fighting. A blade caught him across the ribs. His already broken ribs. He felt something give. Felt blood pour hot down his side. He spun. Slammed the guard into a wall. Moved on. The Overlord was trying to escape. Floating toward a hidden exit. Ryland saw him. Limped toward him. Everything hurt. Everything was broken. But he was still moving. Stop. Vex's voice had lost its bored edge. Now it sounded scared. Please, we can negotiate. I have wealth, power, influence. I can give you anything you want. Your son said the same thing, right before I killed him. Ryland grabbed the throne, pulled it down. Vex tumbled out. All 6 arms flailed. You want to know what I want? I want you to feel what they felt. Every single one of them. I want you to know terror. Real terror. Not the kind you inflict on others from behind walls and guards. The kind that comes when you realize nobody's coming to save you. You're insane. No, I'm human. There's a difference. Ryland's hand closed around Vex's throat. 1 throat, out of 6 arms. Strange anatomy. Chen sends his regards. He wants his daughter back, and you're going to give her back, along with every other hostage you're holding, every slave, every prisoner. You're going to free them all. Never. I would rather die. That can be arranged. Ryland squeezed. Not hard enough to kill, just hard enough to hurt. But you're not going to die. Not yet. First, you're going to watch your empire crumble. Every station, every ship, every dirty deal. I'm going to expose it all. Send it to every news outlet in the galaxy. And when the other crime lords come for your territory, when the governments you've been blackmailing come for revenge, you're going to be alone, powerless, just like everyone you've ever hurt. Vex's eyes widened. All 4 of them. You cannot. The data is encrypted, protected. Your son's personal computer wasn't. Neither was his password. Neither were all the lovely files he kept about Daddy's business. Turns out spoiled princes like to brag, like to keep records, like to have leverage. I uploaded everything to 16 different servers before I came here. Dead man switches. If I don't check in every 24 hours, it all goes public. You're bluffing. Am I? Ryland leaned closer. His blood was dripping onto Vex's face. He was fading, losing too much blood, too many injuries. But he was so close. Here's what happens next. You release the hostages. All of them. You shut down your operations. Quietly, peacefully. And you pray that I don't change my mind and release those files anyway. And if I refuse, then you die here, now, and the files go out, and your empire dies with you. Either way, you lose, but one way you get to live, broken, humiliated, powerless, but alive. Ryland's vision was tunneling, black edges creeping in. Choose fast. I'm running out of patience. And blood. Vex stared at him, this broken human, this impossible creature, who should have died 12 times already, who was still somehow standing, still fighting, still winning. I agree, to your terms. All of them. Smart choice. Ryland let go, stood up, swayed. The room was spinning. One more thing. Colony 7. You're going to pay for the memorial. Every name, every person, carved in stone. So nobody forgets what you did. Yes, anything. Just let me live. Living's the easy part. Living with what you've done, that's the punishment. Ryland turned, started walking toward the exit. Guards parted. Nobody tried to stop him. They'd seen enough. Chen was waiting outside. He had a little girl in his arms, maybe 8 years old. She looked scared, traumatized, but alive. You did it, Chen said. His voice was hollow. Amazed. You actually did it. Told you. Ryland's legs gave out. He caught himself on the wall. Get her out of here. Get everyone out. The Overlord's going to release everyone. He doesn't have a choice. You need medical attention. Now. I need a drink, and a bed, and about 3 months of sleep. Ryland coughed. Blood. Lots of blood. But, yeah, medical would be good too. More guards arrived. But they weren't hostile. They were carrying stretchers. Medical supplies. One of them was human. She looked at Ryland like he was a ghost. Sir, we need to get you stabilized. You have massive internal bleeding, multiple fractures, severe trauma. By all medical logic, you should be dead. Medical logic never met a stubborn human. Ryland let them guide him to the stretcher. How many hostages? What? How many hostages did Vex have? How many people are going free because of this? The medic checked the datapad. According to the manifests, 4,612. Ryland closed his eyes. 4,612 lives. It didn't bring back Colony 7. Didn't bring back Maya. Didn't bring back his wife. But it was something. It was proof that one person could make a difference. That Deathworlders weren't just survivors. They were fighters, protectors, and sometimes when pushed far enough, they were nightmares walking. Get some rest, Chen said. He was still holding his daughter. She'd buried her face in his shoulder. You've earned it. Rest is for people who are finished. I've got 15 more names on my list. Vex was just the beginning. Ryland smiled. That terrible smile. But maybe a nap first. Even Deathworlders need to recharge sometimes. The medics lifted the stretcher, started moving. Behind them, the Overlord's fortress was in chaos. Orders being given, hostages being freed, an empire crumbling in real time. All because one human refused to accept that he was beaten, refused to believe that pain meant stop, refused to let the people he loved die for nothing. Somewhere in the galaxy, on 12 different news networks, the first files were starting to leak. The evidence, the crimes, the truth, and with each revelation, another criminal empire shook. Another tyrant looked over their shoulder. Another slaveholder wondered if maybe, just maybe, they'd made a terrible mistake by underestimating the species from Earth. The Deathworlders. Ryland closed his eyes. The pain was still there, would always be there. But so was something else. Purpose, direction, a reason to keep breathing, keep fighting, keep being the nightmare that predators feared. They'd called him broken, beaten, finished. They'd been wrong, because humans didn't break. They bent, they adapted, they endured. And when you pushed them too far, when you took everything they loved, they pushed back, harder. Subscribe and like to my channel for more sci-fi stories.